Support for your public radio station comes from our members and from Labella Associates, dedicated to the pursuit of partnership for more than 40 years, offering services in the development of buildings, infrastructure, environmental, and energy projects. Labella, powered by partnership. LabellaPC.com.
From WXXI News, this is Connections. I'm Evan Dawson. Our connection this hour was made with a question as you head to the airport. What are you wearing? Airport attire has made headlines recently, mainly because the sweatpants and pajamas that so many passengers find comfortable to travel in seem to upset the federal government. In a new campaign, U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy is urging Americans to bring civility back to flights and return to what the Trump administration calls the golden age of travel. The goal is to restore courtesy and class to air travel. That's according to Secretary Duffy, who says it's time to put a stop to in-flight outbursts, attacks on flight attendants, and different forms of disrespect we may experience when traveling by air. And one method to show more respect, he says, is to dress up. I want to listen to Secretary Duffy when he was on Fox News recently.
People dress up like they're going to bed when they fly. I see people getting on airplanes, and they're having a hard time taking their luggage and getting in the oversized or the above bin. Help people out, be nice, be courteous. And so we want to push people as we come into a really busy travel season. Help people out, be in a good mood, dress up, bring civility back to travel. And I think everyone's experience is going to be that much better.
So does he want us wearing like suit and ties? Well, he said, quote, whether it's a pair of jeans and a decent shirt, I would encourage people to maybe dress a little better. It encourages us to behave a little better. Let's try not to wear slippers and pajamas as we come to the airport, unquote. Would a better-dressed plane of passengers inspire better behavior and a more pleasurable travel experience? In a moment when flight delays and cancellations, air traffic staffing issues, and the federal government scaling back on refunds for passengers, all that going on, what's going to change the overall experience? We're going to talk mostly about what we wear in public fashion this hour. Our guests are going to have some fun with it, I hope. I'm not going to be too serious, Elaine Spall, Executive Director at Center for Youth. What are you, the co-founder of Fashion Week Rochester?
Yeah,
and you're always like the best dressed person I know.
And I'm actually wearing, I don't know what I wear to the airport.
That's what, so if you're watching on YouTube, this is what Elaine wears.
This is what I wear. I wear the same pants. I'm going to talk about them. So, Evan, I got a lot to say about this because of all the crazy things going on. This is what he focuses on. I can't. But so I'm here just to have a blast with you and Zoe and talk a little bit about how we make sense of this. One of the things I want to say, the golden age of travel was peanuts. We could have peanuts. The golden age, you didn't have to take your shoes off, your belt off, your pants off, your jacket off, or whatever.
Not your
pants, but depending on what you're wearing.
What kind of flights were you on?
The other thing is, I've done a small poll. I have not seen one act of incivility, and I travel a lot, just sort of cross-country, warm places, cool. I see people helping each other every single minute. The people who misbehave are drinking too much of those little tiny bottles. I'm just saying that's the behavior thing. So we'll talk about that.
Right.
And also, where is he getting his? So let's talk about all that. And do we call him Commissioner Duffy?
I think it's Secretary. Secretary Duffy.
Okay, Secretary Duffy.
So we're going to. I've got two different directions we're going to take it, Elaine. I'm with you there.
Okay.
Zoe Keene, a comedy writer, performer, and visual artist. Great to have you. And you don't have to speak for all 20-somethings this hour. But I do want you to know that to some degree, you're going to be the voice of Gen Z, right?
Yes, I am in Gen Z. And I have some opinions about this issue, for sure. But I do think that I have the overall opinion that my generation has, for the most part.
Which is what? Elastic waistbands forever?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Comfort over
looking nice.
Okay. Can you do both?
You can do both, and I think that I do both, but it's not my top priority. My top priority is being comfortable, because nowadays we have so many flights that are delayed, whether I'm sitting in the chair on the plane or in the airport. So I feel like about half the time there's some sort of delay that you're not expecting, and I would like to be comfortable when that ultimately happens.
I mean, I think that is a very fair point, I have to say. And I feel like there's two things that we should kind of bifurcate this. First of all, I think there's a fair question about public fashion at the airport, on planes, but also in public, you know, in general, which we're going to talk about. And then there's the question of whether this is the solution to the air issue. Because when you look at surveys of Americans, to Elaine's point, people are stressed. People don't trust that their flights are going to be on time. They expect, as Zoe said, they expect delays now. They're frustrated. They think they're getting nickeled and dimed with fees. And the idea that the transportation secretary is like, well, you're the problem, travelers. If you all just improve your attitude and you dress nicer, this will all just go away. I think that's separate from the what should we dress like in public. And I would say you seem to think that that is a tone-deaf response.
Yeah. So here's one of the things. I think that we respond to circumstances. We're not blaming COVID. We're not blaming 9/11. But think about the changes. So we were told, take off your shoes. All right. If you're going to take off your shoes and you don't want to be barefoot in the airport, because who knows what you might step in, right? You are going to wear something that slips on and off, a.k.a. slippers.
Yep.
Shoes that are comfortable. I'm wearing boots. I'm going to put my leg up, okay, because these are boots that. Sorry, Zoe. No, I'm good. We made friends downstairs. She didn't know about me, so I'm all good. This is great.
This
so
is
she
really
has no
good.
preconceived. No,
Very good.
Just so good.
You're going to have an idea in an
know,
hour. I trust
know.
you.
So
Yes,
okay, so
yeah.
that's the other thing. The other thing is take off your belt. Take off my belt. Okay, so now I'm taking off my shoes. So I'm going to look at something that doesn't have a belt. So I'm being told by the airlines and by Secretary Duffy and his folks, wear something that has an elastic waist. It's easier. You don't have to take your belt off. You don't have to take your so you're telling us what to do. The other thing is you're playing with us because airports now have rocking chairs all over them. Charlotte is the most famous. I don't know if you've been in Charlotte Airport. There's rows and rows of rocking chairs and then also soft piano music. So you basically feel like you're in your living room just relaxing. So the airlines are encouraging us to relax, to take it easy, to wear comfortable shoes you can slip on and off, to wear pants that don't need a belt, and then all of a sudden we're blamed for acting badly because we're wearing athleisure wear, which apparently you think you're wearing today, but you are not.
This is not athleisure?
No, that's a hoodie. That's. Do you work out in that?
No.
Okay, that's a lovely hoodie, sort of a waffle design.
I can't even tell if you like it or not. Are you condemning
I like
this?
it. No, I do like
it's
it.
okay.
I think it's good because I don't
Okay.
think you usually wear light colors like that. Do you? Are you like?
I don't think about that often.
I know you don't. Okay. Anyway, so I think we're taking our cues from the airlines. We're taking our cues from people saying, "Oh, by the way, I always check my bags. I believe in it. Nobody else wants to do that. When you check a bag, I just did it a couple weeks ago. They say, is there anything important in this bag that you might need when you get there in case it doesn't make it?" That's what they're saying. So all of a sudden, the old golden days, you know why people don't check bags? Because it costs $45.
Yeah.
And they get lost.
Absolutely.
So we're taking our cues from the airlines.
If I could just say to Elaine's point, a lot of what you're describing did change after 9/11.
It did.
It was a set of security measures that changed after 9/11 because there was even that, I think the Richard Reed, the shoe
The heel of the
bomber.
shoe. Right.
You know, so which was, I think, a failed attempt to conceal something in someone's shoe. So we're still doing that. We're taking our shoes off. We're taking the belts off. We're taking jewelry off. Are you showing up at the airport tintinabulating like
so
this?
when I only have one earring today because the other one's lost, but I was covering my hair so you couldn't see it. Okay, I wear no jewelry at all. I take off this. I don't want to be messed.
Right.
With.
So the point is, you look elegant, nice here today
Right.
on the show.
Right. This is how I travel.
But you're saying you wouldn't wear that jewelry to the airport because
I wouldn't because I'm going to gling everything off.
Right. And so,
yeah.
I think you're making an important point about
Right.
the dissonance in the messaging
Right.
to the
Right.
public, which is
Right.
you're going to have to go through all of this for security, but also maybe wear a suit and tie when you do it.
Yeah. So the other thing I want to say, and then I really want to hear from Zoe and the young perspective is the flights in Rochester, of course, if you're trying to get somewhere to connect, you're going to take a 6:15, 6 o'clock flight, right, even to New York City. So that means you have to be there at 5. That means you have to get up at 4. You know, you're not dialing up. I always take a shower first. I don't care what time of the day it is. But most people are just like getting out the door, right? So
Yep.
there's that. The other thing, of course, is that There's absolutely no data, Secretary Duffy, that tells me that the misbehavior is. I mean, I would like to know what survey, what data he has or they have that tells us those are the people. My guess is it has to do with alcohol and maybe with people having, again, a mistake in the airlines and you both have the same seat. Have you ever been on a flight when someone said, that's my seat?
Yeah.
And you're like, no, it's my seat. And like, no, it's my seat. And then they say, well, I wanted to sit with my wife. Would you mind moving over? And guess what happens? 99% of the time, the guy says, sure. Let me just move over.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much. It's like one of the most civil places, I think, because you're in this sort of trap together.
I don't disagree with that. I think.
I want to say one more thing about
Yeah.
civility. I was on a flight coming back on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. It was an American flight. We were all put on the flight, and then we sat there, and finally the flight attendant came on and said, we want to tell you why we're not leaving. We have 5 passengers coming from other flights that are late. This is the last flight to Rochester. If we leave without them,
They're not
they
getting
won't be home on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Should we wait for them? The entire no, I didn't say that.
No,
But the enti-
careful.
I didn't
You said
say it.
Evan. You said Evan.
Evan Plane said, yeah, except my husband who said they could take a train. No, he didn't really say that. Everyone said, yes, wait for them.
Wait for them. It was the right thing to do.
Talk about civility.
I've never seen that happen on a plane
It
before,
happened.
and I'm amazed that happen more often.
Right.
Because when other flights are delayed and people are running through the airport,
Running.
and then I have gotten there years ago. I got to a door and they're like, well, the door's closed. I'm like, the plane is right there.
Right.
I'm looking at the plane.
Let me on.
It's not going anywhere.
No, exactly.
I'm like, yeah, but we closed the door.
The most
I'm like,
is-
is the door magic?
No, so the most incivility, is that a word, comes from the flight attendants.
From the staff.
From staff. Anyway, so I thought that was a measure. I wanted to.
I love that story.
It's a true story. It happened because everyone was saying these folks will not be home for Thanksgiving. Let's wait
And
for
an
them.
entire plane of
Entire
people
plane-
said, we will wait.
We will wait.
So our fellow Americans
Yeah.
can get home to
Yeah.
their families.
Yeah.
And I would just say about the incivility that Duffy's talking about, there are incidents that go viral in our viral age,
Right.
but that is not representative of every flight or even most.
Right. And do we
It's-
have a photo of what they were wearing when they pushed or shoved or something?
Well, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
Okay, that's enough from me for now.
so Zoe Keene,
Yes,
the secretary wants you to dress up.
I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
I want to be comfortable. I want to be able to sit crisscross applesauce on the plane, be in pants that I can do that with. And I don't want to think about the person next to me, but I'm not going to be wearing pajamas. I haven't actually seen anyone wear pajamas.
Oh, come on.
I haven't seen them
On an
wear-
airplane?
No, I
Oh,
haven't.
yeah.
And I've traveled a lot. But I will wear sweatpants and a t-shirt and layers. I'm all for layers on a plane.
Very smart because the temperature changes are wild when
Yes,
you fly.
so my go-to outfit is always, and before I would come from Chicago, which is always very cold, especially in the winter, and then going somewhere else like Florida where it's really hot, I would always dress in some type of sweatpants, a t-shirt, and then a giant hoodie over it that I take off or put back on the plane.
Okay. Is there one place that we can draw a line together here? Zoe, I'm with you on the comfort.
Yes.
Can we make sure that no one takes their socks off? I don't need
Oh,
bare
that's
feet.
so gross.
Okay, you agree with that?
Yes, I
That's where the
do.
line's got to be.
I'll take my shoes off.
You want to wear sweatpants, wear them, but keep your feet, even flip-flops on your feet. I don't need bare bottom feet anywhere on a plane.
No,
Well,
I
they,
am
they,
all
they
for
get
that.
on the plane barefooted, or they
No,
take
they take them off.
Okay, I haven't
So
experienced that.
taking
but
your
I'm
shoes
saying-
off is one thing.
Yeah, yeah,
You've
yeah.
got socks on.
Leave your
Yeah.
socks on,
Taking your
yeah.
socks off. Have you seen this before? Has this happened to
No,
you?
but if it did,
Federal crime.
yeah, it would be bad.
You want to really change America, Sean Duffy? Make that a crime.
Yeah, who's doing that?
I think people do it. I've seen it.
I'm sure they do because I've seen at security when they have to take their shoes off and it's their bare feet. And I'm just thinking, oh, this is a cesspool. Like you are going to get
Oh,
athlete's
you're worried
foot.
for them.
I am, but it's disgusting.
You're worried for you too.
Because at least in the security line, we're not like in close proximities to each other on a plane with like limited airflow. But when we're sitting right next to each other, I'm going to be able to smell that. It's disgusting.
I'm with you there, Zoe Keene. Now, I want to close the book on an important point here that is like the only really actually hard newsy part of this, which is that I'm looking at a story from NBC News in just a couple of weeks ago, November 17th. And I'm going to read from the story now. The Trump administration has officially withdrawn a proposal that would have compensated airline passengers for significant delays caused by issues within a carrier's control. Though the move was announced in September, the Transportation Department formalized it in the Federal Register on Monday. It said it was withdrawing the advance notice of proposed rulemaking that was submitted under the Biden administration. Under the Biden-era plan, passengers would have received reimbursements based on how long the delays lasted. The scale began at $200, went up to $775 for delays that lasted at least 9 hours. The proposal would have aligned U.S. regulation more closely with airline rules in Europe. And a spokesperson for the Transportation Department said that the Biden-era proposal does not reflect the compensation consumers are currently entitled to with respect to delays and cancellations. So there's a disagreement here. The Trump administration is saying if you guys get delayed, you're supposed to get compensated.
Yeah.
But the Biden administration was saying we want this codified, and we want a sliding scale to say if it's an hour, it's $200.
Yeah.
If it's up to 9 hours, $775, and it's a sliding scale. Europe does it the same way.
Yeah.
Trump administration said no. And so now it's much murkier.
Yeah.
And in my mind, if you want to signal to air travelers, I mean, like I'm with Zoe, we should keep our feet covered. But also, don't you want a guarantee of compensation if you kind of get impacted in that way and it's the carrier's fault?
Yeah, I think that in a sense, the fashion argument is taking away from all of the other a huge distraction from all of the other issues we have going on right now with the airports and the planes taking off at the right times, wrong times. There are so many delays. People should get compensated, and how are they supposed to afford a hotel if their flight gets canceled or delayed? I think that it is just a huge distraction. It's a ploy.
It's a ploy. It's a distraction. What
You
do
know,
you
the
think,
other
Pauline?
thing, the other thing that I've been thinking a lot about, because I have like global entry TSA thing. Okay, so though you go through something once, and then you're forever forgiven for taking off belts, hats, shoes. You can have change in your pocket, like you have a free pass. I don't get how that makes. I'm not sure how that works. So one time we go through, we pay. You have to pay. So it has a class issue for me to it as well. So this whole TSA global entry, you get to go quickly, or you can buy something. There's another kind of thing we bought once. I think we were in a hurry, and then you don't have to do. They're just going to carry you on the plane.
Yeah.
So you can buy your way on, which doesn't make sense to me in terms of if security is the issue. You know, again, I'm with Zoe. Let's talk about behaviors. Let's talk about mental health challenges. Let's talk about how people are feeling these days. Let's talk about alcohol abuse on planes. Let's talk about there's not a lot of food on planes. Let's talk about the fact that if you're stuck for 7 hours, you're not supposed to use the bathroom. I mean, there's just lots of stuff going on. You know, you're trying to fix something that is not what's broken. And that seems to be a pattern of perhaps this administration or just the world we live in right now. Let's fix what's wrong. Why are people feeling certain ways? Why are they feeling stress? Because there's flights that don't make it, that whatever. So it's not because I'm wearing. The only thing I would tell you, and I know everyone loves the Buffalo Bills, and I'm a fan as well. I don't actually watch the games, but I think I always want them to win. Always, every second of every Sunday, Thursday, whenever.
Are you running for office? Right
I'm
now?
not running for office, but I'm going to tell you those red, blue, white striped pants that are Bills.
Yes.
They need to stay at home.
Yeah.
Nobody.
That's controversial.
I don't know.
Because they're popular, but they look.
Nobody. Well, maybe
They look like pajama pants.
Maybe Megan Mac would look good in them, but nobody else in the world would look good in those. I don't care who you are. Maybe Josh himself. But so there are some things I'm with you guys about. Some things just to stay home. They shouldn't be they shouldn't be in Wegmans. They shouldn't be maybe in urgent care.
Well, on that point,
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do
So those
know what
pants?
you're talking about, and as somebody that
Horrific.
is newer to the Rochester area, I will say that my family members and other people that visit will see the Bills signs all over the place and Bills flags, and they think for a second, "Uh-oh, I think this is a flag for something else." But they don't know that that's just for the Bills because of the colors and the like font. So I think that
wow.
for a lot of, I don't know if foreigners is the right word, but people that aren't from the Rochester area, they see those colors and they think, oh, I'm not thinking of the Bills right now. I don't know this is a sports thing. It's more like supporting the administration.
Oh, I see.
maybe.
Because of the
Wow.
colors.
Yeah.
The colors.
Because of the
Yeah.
colors and the fonts, and so
Yeah.
I've thought that about the flags until you realize, oh, it's for the Bills.
Yeah.
I can take a.
I mean, Bill's gear
Nice
is
breath
fine. There's lots of it, jackets, but those pants in particular, not so good.
Okay, so I'm going to read a few emails now, listeners. If you want to join the conversation as we talk about what you wear in a plane, what you wear in public, if the standards need to change, and if this is the right prescription to fix what's going on the airlines, it's 844-295-TALK toll free, 844-295-8255. 263-WXXI if you're in Rochester, 263-9994. Email the program, connections@WXXI.org. You can join the conversation if you're watching on YouTube on the chat there. I have to say, I don't think I've seen those striped Bills pants on the runway at Fashion Week Rochester.
You have not.
I don't think I have.
No,
That's right. This is from Alex in the village of Webster, who says, the engineers at Boeing and Airbus have squeezed so much space out of economy class seats that you need to be wearing gym attire or PJs to get into the seat. If the person in front of you leans their seat back and has the volume turned on their earbuds up, you get to listen to what they are listening to and watch what they are watching on their phone. If you are affluent enough to book ultra premium class on a really long flight, I think the airline actually provides PJs. Alex from the village of Webster. That's interesting. So the actual space in individual
Right.
seats has declined.
Right,
It has shrunk.
Yeah, yeah. Have you guys ever been in a flight and there's like a seat? Like I always have to be in the middle, which is so annoying because my husband is always on the aisle. Okay, so you're there, you have an empty seat, and you watch people walk toward you, and you say, "Oh no, please not that person."
Yes.
No, please not that person. Oh, please not that person. Mostly because they're tall, like big, like not fat. I mean, not fat. I'm just saying
Big framed, taking
framed,
a lot of area,
big
just
framed
tall.
men. And I'm like, oh no, please. Because
6'8".
So 6'7". There was a basketball player who was 7'9". Did you see that? That poor guy. Anyway, he's not getting on our flight. He's got his own jet.
I think that's about right.
But you do see you're squeezed. So,
Yeah.
having like even a nice something, you're going to be shoved in. The other thing is they're pretending to give us food. Those little cookies, I think
They're
they're called.
pretending to give us food.
Well, they call it biscotti. It's not a biscotti. You know what a
the
biscotti is.
Biscoff.
The Biscoff.
yeah.
It's like, no, I don't want that. And I also don't want pretzels.
I disagree.
You like those little cookies?
Okay.
You do like them?
I'm someone that has a nut allergy.
Oh, geez.
Oh.
Okay.
But I can have peanuts.
Oh,
and yeah, I can have
a nut
some of
allergy,
them.
but peanuts
You
is
can
okay.
have
peanuts,
peanuts?
is okay, and now almonds and pine nuts are okay.
So what
too.
can't you have? A cashew?
I can't have cashews, walnuts, hazelnut, Brazil nut, like everything else. Pecans,
you need to pack a lunch, honey.
pistachio.
You need to-
yeah,
you need
I
to
know,
pack a
and they've yelled at me on the flights, the flight attendants, because I've been like, "Are there any nuts in this?" And they're like, "You really should have picked the other option, honey." Like, but I have such an appreciation for those Biscoff cookies because
Okay.
my dad is dairy free. They don't have dairy. Like, they are a good option for anyone that has food allergies except for gluten.
I think Elaine is simply saying that it used to be a little bit more of a substantial food offering.
Yes. They used
That
to-
might be true.
Yes.
But
How
I
about they
am-
come over with a tray of water? Did you ever see that
But
on
you
the
see what's
shorter
going on here?
flights?
Zoe's like, well, I never experienced that,
I
so
know.
it's
See,
good for
that's
me.
I haven't.
No, but remember what Transportation Secretary Duffy is telling us? We want to go back to the golden age. The golden age has all other kinds of perks, including free baggage.
And you could take scissors on the plane and
You
do
could-
little crafts.
You could do crafts on the plane.
You can
and
probably
you
bring
could-
swords if you wanted.
You could have, You could have a water bottle on the plane. I mean, it's just that the whole notion, and I think Zoe's right, it's a ploy to distract us from what's really going on with people in travel. People want to get from A to B quickly and safely, and what they're wearing is the least of the concern.
And I will say, Elaine, last hour we had comedian Kamal Bell on the show, and he obviously travels a lot. And he said, look, the golden era of travel, to your point, it was new, it was luxury.
Yes.
Now it's like a Greyhound bus in the sky. Yeah. You're going to be, I mean, that's why he's great. It's like, he just nailed it, right?
He was adorable. We
Yeah.
were watching him downstairs a little bit, yeah.
Like there's
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
no offense
Yeah.
to Greyhound,
Right.
but you're probably not wearing a suit and tie
Right.
on purpose on a
Right.
Greyhound.
Right.
And you don't have to wear a suit and tie in the sky.
And when we go to New York City, we have lots of folks and friends there. We drive now because by the time you get there an hour early, it takes you an hour to get back from Kennedy to wherever. I mean, you just might as well drive. You can do it in 5 hours and 15 minutes if you're Malcolm Spall. I just think that travel, sometimes you need to do it and you want to do it. It used to be fun. It used to be really exciting. It's just get me from A to B. And, I think that the respect people have for each other, I just have not seen somebody struggle with a bag and nobody helping them. I'll tell you the other thing. There's always a guy that is by that when the baggage comes down after you're there and you land. It takes forever in Rochester, but it does finally show up. There's always a guy who's there taking them. He's just like watching to help everybody. Like there's that guy. Like if one falls over, he puts it up and he makes sure the handle's out. It's just a guy. People help each other.
It's nice.
Do you see that?
And Elaine, you are the person who looks for the helpers. You want to be a helper.
I am a helper sometimes.
You are a helper.
Yes, yeah.
What I appreciate in this moment is you reminding us that yes, we've seen the viral videos of people who lose their mind on flights.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a lot of good people
Oh
out
my
there who
gosh,
care about each
so
other.
many more. The other thing that happens is sometimes you're sitting there and you really just want to read your book, and there's a chatty person next to you, and so you chat with, and I'm probably could be that chatty person, but you have to just graciously let them because maybe they're nervous.
Yeah.
So, there's a community on a plane. Think of it. There's 48 people, 52 people kind of stuck together, hoping we get there safely, sort of on a journey. I just don't see the drama he's talking about.
Well, the Department of Transportation says since 2019, the FAA has seen a 400% increase of in-flight outbursts.
Wow.
But what do you mean? Do they punch somebody, or
Yeah.
were they sad?
It's everything from punching to just yelling,
Yelling. Mm-hmm.
disruptive behavior. So,
Have you seen it? Have you been on a flight?
No.
Me neither.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Zoe, have you?
I have been on a flight, not where that happened, but where people were being maybe too nice.
Oh.
And this was the weirdest experience. It was somebody's birthday in like 3 days. It wasn't even their actual birthday. And the flight attendants had them come up to the front of the plane, and they had all the lights you were supposed to hit the light for the flight attendants to come by at the same time, and then unhit it so that they would blow out the candles. The person at the front was supposed to blow out the candles, and we would turn
what
the
was a
lights
flight
on and
attendant
off.
wearing? I'm just worrying about that person.
I don't know, but and then
that
I've
dress
had
was too tight.
flight
I'm just saying.
attendants that
Holy
were
God.
just
No.
so rude. A lot
Yeah.
of flight attendants that were very rude, and then some that are so funny on the mics, and
Yeah.
they make the trip a lot better.
Yeah.
So I understand that people are stressed, and how we categorize a disruptive behavior is probably maybe contributing to the increase in incidents, but people are stressed. I think even if we are seeing more outbursts, I'm with Elaine. I think most people want to help people. Most people want to be kind. Most people are probably like Zoe. They just kind of want to get on the flight and not be bothered,
Right.
but they're not going to be unkind.
Right.
You're not going to be actively hostile to people.
But I like it when they do talk to me. Like, I really do like it when people talk to me, because my generation...
Even a stranger sitting next to you?
Yes, yeah. My generation, like, we don't talk to each other. So if somebody is
You're how old? 20?
23...
23. And you will just strike up a conversation on a plane with a
Yes,
stranger.
it's happened to me a few times.
Good for you.
And one of them, well, it's usually them initiating, but because of something I've done or was watching, like I was watching Columbo, and some guy next to me was like, I didn't know you knew what that was.
And all of a sudden, like, did we just become best friends?
Yeah, and it was just nice. So he was telling me about all the, because I was going to California, how the wind affects the temperature in all the different places.
Oh, he's going to explain the world to you.
Yes, but it is interesting because I'm somebody that likes to write, and writers need experiences, and an experience is talking to somebody you wouldn't normally talk to. So
why do you think your generation, if you think it's accurate that your generation is less likely to talk to people in public, less likely to talk to people who are considered quote-unquote strangers, why
yes,
is that?
It is so much to do with the phones.
Yes.
Because we've grown up on the phones. I mean, I was in 4th grade when the iPod Touch was big. So from that point on, I've pretty much been addicted to like YouTube and all of these apps. And they've found that like people around my age all have depression and anxiety. Not everybody, but a lot because of the phones.
Do you wish that you had grown up in an era without all this tech?
Yeah, I don't really remember much of my life pre phones. I remember my parents sharing one flip phone, which other people, they probably had iPhones, but my parents didn't want to do that, and I'm grateful for that. But I don't remember much before that iPod Touch. I really don't.
Remarkable. No, I mean, you are kind of a throwback, I will say, Zoe.
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
Yeah.
And when we come back from our only break, I've got a phone call I'll take from Barbara. I've got a pile of email to read here. Some interesting comparisons. We're just going to talk about, again, where we're drawing fashion lines here. I think we're making progress. I think we're doing a good job. Zoe Keene, Elaine Spall with us as we talk about what the Secretary of Transportation wants us to do, which is dress up nice when you fly to maybe solve the problems of air travel. We're going to keep at it and see what we can solve in the next 20 minutes on Connections.
Support for your public radio station comes from our members and from Excellus Blue Cross Blue Shield, providing members with options for in-person and virtual care, creating ways to connect to care when and where it's needed. Learn more at excellusbcbs.com.
This is Connections. I'm Evan Dawson. I'm wearing, I thought, athleisure. I guess just a hoodie.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. You're fine.
You
I like
You're
it.
good.
You like it?
Yeah,
yes,
we like
it's
it.
kind of like a mix between a sweater and a hoodie.
That's right. It's
so
kind of
it's
waffle.
more formal.
Okay,
Yeah.
there we go.
Yeah.
Very formal.
What did you have a T-shirt on? What do you? I'm just wondering.
I'm not giving you anything
need to know.
that goes beyond
Zoe,
the surface, Elaine.
you're on my side.
I mean, look, ratings would go up, but we're going to leave it at the surface.
Okay, but you look good.
Thank
We
you.
both agree. Zoe
Okay.
and I agree.
Barbara in Brighton on the phone. Hey, Barbara, go ahead.
Hey there. I just have two quick things to say. Not that I'm agreeing with the administration of the airports, but all I can tell you is that every year when I used to take the 8th grade on their trip to Washington, one of the things we did was a dinner theater, and they all dressed up and they behaved so beautifully because they were dressed up
Yep.
and they felt like grown-ups,
Yep.
and so they were watching how they behaved.
Yep.
So I just throw that in for discussion. And the second comment is that once I came back from Europe on Japan Airlines, and oh my God, you could eat off the floor.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Yeah.
so frickin' clean, and the young women were wearing obies, for God's sake, and they fed us, and they kept bringing tea, and they brought wine, and it was just the most marvelous experience. And then I got back to the States, transferred to an unnamed, airline from the U.S. It was horrible. It was filthy. The workers were completely rude. I asked one fellow after about 15 minutes, do you think they could heat it up a little bit? I don't control that. I mean, you couldn't believe. And so my attitude is when they shape up, I'll shape up.
Oh, boy. All right.
Yeah.
Barbara, thank you. So different. So have you flown
But-
internationally? Do you see those differences?
Yeah, the other thing is Barbara's so right. You know, I work at the center. I run the center. Well, I work at the centrifuge with a lot of 400 and more amazing people, and we do have dress-up days. We take kids places. We took them to visit HBCUs. We took them and we asked them to bring one nice outfit for a nice dinner. That I totally agree with Barbara. That's a special occasion. You're treated beautifully. You know, a lot of our young people have never been. I remember once I took some young women to a restaurant and they said, "Oh my gosh, Miss Elaine, they're going to let us eat before we pay." I mean, it was a whole new experience, right? A lovely, amazing experience. So, yeah, that's a special dress up. And Barbara's right. But I think there have been a couple responses to Secretary Duffy, and that is exactly what Barbara's saying. When they get it right, we'll get it right. And for right now, also, the American flights are not as clean, even though I know they try. So why would you want to put like your best anything on one of those seats? So yeah, I'm thankful to Barbara for her taking those kids out. That was terrific.
For sure. I had flown in Japan and Korea recently, and the differences between here and there even with security and baggage, especially baggage, was very different from here. And you notice that a lot of people, they take these really tiny bags and they check them there. But we're not doing that here. I don't know if it's like the pricing, but you cannot have a bag that's like, it's like the size of a suitcase and they're checking that.
I mean, you're right. Maybe it's pricing. I mean, if I want to fix the airlines, I want to get online and see a ticket price.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I would like to pay
Yes.
that price.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Oh, so
Here's a flight for $290. Okay, then you click through. $450.
Right.
Okay.
what happened?
Yeah.
Because you had to buy your seat.
You had to buy your seat.
And
you have
you
to pay
paid
for an extra bag.
Yeah.
Right,
Whatever. I mean,
exactly.
all these
I
nickel
know.
and dime things.
I know.
That's why the Savannah Bananas are a hot item in the entertainment scene, because if you buy a shirt on their website for $30, you know what you pay? You pay $30.
Yeah.
You don't even pay.
Yeah.
They're eating the taxes.
Yeah, yeah.
So people want to know what they're paying.
Yeah.
That's what gets people upset. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm upset. But I have a ton of great feedback. So let me work through a couple of the
Okay.
pushbacks here.
Okay.
This is from Charles. He says, "Evan, I'm pretty sure the secretary was just meaning it as a general don't be a slob guidance. If people are flying in pajama pants and slippers, it's probably time for the pendulum to swing back." It's from Charles. Okay, fair. And Patrick says, "I'm 42 years old. Never, ever, ever have I stepped on a plane with sweatpants or some other rig-up polyester, unless I was on a plane with my parents." And he said, kids these days take for granted too much, and yes, it should stop." That is from Patrick.
All right.
And then Tom sends a note, bringing us all back to Seinfeld, the wisdom of Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld famously told George Costanza, "You know the message you're sending to the world when you go out in those sweatpants? You're telling the world, I give up.
Yep.
I can't compete in normal society. I'm miserable, so I might as well be comfortable." He says, season 4, episode 23. Thank you, Tom. That's somebody who knows the Seinfeld. So that's, to me, sweatpants would have been the dividing line now.
Yeah.
I think it's pajama pants.
Yeah.
I think there's a difference.
There
Do you
is a huge
What's the difference,
difference.
Zoe?
Well, if you can see like the pattern clearly, and you know the ends aren't tucked in, like they're not. I don't know. There's no elastic on the bottoms. I think that's usually the pajama pants when they have that pattern and they got the button-down shirt to go with it. That's what I'm picturing with pajamas, not just like some comfortable sweatpants.
I think pajama pants is different than sweatpants.
Yeah.
So you're good with sweatpants, not with PJs.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think it's a reflection on the fact that we have to wait so long for everything.
I don't disagree with that. I will
Yeah.
say, though, Zoe, take it out of the airport, go to the mall, go anywhere in public. I will find, and I'm not criticizing, I'm observing.
Yeah.
People your age, not all of them, but a significant number are definitely wearing just flat-out pajama pants in public. Is that good with you?
I don't think that they should be doing it, but I feel like I've done that once or twice.
Okay. Yeah, I don't mean like let's got to run to the gas station for some milk. I mean like going out for the day.
Oh, not for the day, no. No, not for the day. But I have gone to like the grocery store late at night in my PJs.
I think that's categorically different than I'm intending
That's
to
a quick
go out
run.
in public.
That's a quick run.
Yeah.
A quick run.
That's a quick
you
run.
Get, you get away with it. You're like, I hope no one
yeah,
recognizes
yeah.
me. In, out, whatever.
Yeah.
But that's different.
I will say, for a time, I was working as a paralegal, and I was going into the courthouse, and my lawyer boss would tell me, like, when I was talking about, oh, what should I wear to the courthouse, he was saying, oh, just don't wear sweatpants or pajama pants.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, who do you think I am?
like the fact that you had to give me this instruction.
Yeah, I was thinking jeans okay, or, we need dress pants.
Jeans used to be out of bounds in restaurants.
Oh my gosh! So
jeans are like formal for restaurants.
At the center, for example, we said you can only wear jeans on Wednesdays because we were not in schools on that day.
This is now or then?
It was started then and sort of still true now.
Okay.
We wear jeans on Wednesdays. People wear jeans other days. But we started letting people wear jeans more often because we were trying to set a good model for kids and teachers. They were wearing jeans. I do think there's nothing like dressing up. Let me just say that. Mm. And I think that every young person really loves the opportunity to dress up. And one of the things we know about Rochester is there's more and more cool places to go and dress up and feel really special. And it can be just a plain black pair of pants and a black shirt. I always tell people, if you wear black, you're good, by the way, because I wear black a lot. Yeah. It's just easy. But, we don't want to judge. I don't want to be judging of people. I want people to understand that, in some ways what we wear is our First Amendment right, too. Let's talk a little bit about that. We do have the right to express ourselves. But the airline thing, I'd like to put that aside because I think he's wrong about that, and I don't think there's good data to support that. I'm not saying that people haven't been less kind or more stressed because of the world around them. I'm not sure it's related to what they're wearing.
And can I just hit a couple of points on that? Because we have so much email, I could just read this all day.
Okay.
So to the point about what's actually driving the bad behavior on airlines, Tim says, my cousin was an attendant for many years and he got to travel all over the world, but he left the business 3 years ago because between the alcohol and a general decline in courtesy, some flights have become dangerous.
Yes.
You're 30,000 feet in the air, people. So, but Tim is not pointing to dress code. He's pointing to alcohol.
Exactly.
So that's a big one.
Exactly.
But then this is something that I think, Elaine, I want you to talk about here.
Okay.
I think what you're saying about the reason to dress up is not to be exclusionary,
right?
But to help people see themselves in a really cool and fun and different way.
Yeah.
The problem becomes, and I'm sure you'll agree with this. This is Laura and Victor. Okay. Laura and Victor says, it is important to acknowledge that dress code standards are sometimes inequitably applied to passengers according to their race.
Yeah.
It is at the discretion of the flight attendant, and there have been instances of people of color removed from flights due to what they were wearing, and it brought up the serious question of if this was a racially discriminatory decision on the part of an airline. That's a very good point.
I think, we've seen that a lot in terms of even young people being not allowed to go certain places. There's always that. There's always the microaggressions. It's not as blatant, but it does have an underlying message of you're not really wanted here, you're not accepted here.
Right.
So I think, one of the reasons a lot of charter schools and other schools have dress codes and uniforms often has been it's kind of an equalizer in terms of what kids wear. I think it saves time in the morning. I mean, I think that we do want people to self-express. We want people to be able to be who they are wherever they are. But there are those little microaggressions that no one even realizes until you feel it. And I think that's where you get down a path of maybe having just not an honest reaction to someone based on something else.
Right. And so I think what I have observed in what you and the team have done for Fashion Week over the years is try to take fashion from being an exclusionary line that can discriminate and instead help people see, hey, have fun and express yourself and see yourself in a different way.
I can wear that. I can do that.
I can pull that off.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah.
I can see myself.
Yeah.
That is a different set of things.
Yeah.
So let me ask you then, as someone who knows Rochester's restaurants.
Yes.
20 years ago, 30 years ago, there were places you couldn't go in jeans.
Couldn't go in
There's
jeans.
nowhere you
Right.
can't go in jeans
Right.
anymore.
Right.
Is that good with you?
And jeans.
Probably
by
a T-shirt too.
Yeah,
Ball caps.
baseball caps are tough for me.
You're not a fan.
I don't think you should wear hats when you eat. That's just my thing. In our house, you can't. But all the men in my life like to wear baseball caps, even my husband. But I don't think you should be wearing a hat. That's just me. You shouldn't be wearing a hat when you eat. So
Jeans and a T-shirt.
jeans.
There's some nice T-shirts, by the way.
There's some nice
There's some good
T-shirts.
looking
There's
stuff
some
out there.
really, jeans cost $350. I mean, they're more expensive than dress-up pants or suits. So I think good jeans, creased jeans, nice jeans, clean jeans. I think clean is more of a descriptor that we should be looking for than fancy or something. I mean, one of the things that he was alluding to is that people were dirty on planes. I don't know that that's true. And then
Yeah.
how does he know?
Yeah, I get you there.
So I think, again, self-expression. There was a bunch of Supreme Court cases about, people that wanted to have dreads and couldn't have dreads, and people in the military who had to cut their hair
100%.
and all that
Yep.
stuff, right?
Yep.
So, and the reason they prevailed in the courts, and, I studied constitutional law, and it was because it was a First Amendment right.
Right.
Where does your First Amendment right begin to impose on other people? Zoe said something really important. When you're watching a screen on a plane, by example, you're watching a film, it may say, this has images that may offend the person sitting next to you.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
It's like you're watching, be careful, or watch it, or watch the sound or something. I thought that was an interesting reaction to the fact that you're in a group experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're basically in a group experience.
Yeah.
Keep your shoes on. Keep your socks on.
And be mindful.
And be
Oh,
mindful.
Absolutely.
When you go out to a restaurant,
Yes.
what is the mindset on what you wear?
Obviously it does depend on the restaurant. If it's like a little dive burger joint, like
Okay, non-dive
that
burger.
doesn't matter. But if I'm actually going out to sit down restaurant with service, I want to look nice. I enjoy dressing up. I'm somebody that does enjoy dressing up. I enjoy doing my makeup. I enjoy being presentable, I guess, even though I'm doing it for myself and not for other people for the most part. But I will say there are some behaviors that I was taught that I have met people around my age that they just don't know. Like playing music publicly on speakers.
Mm-hmm.
I've been around plenty of friends.
That's wild, isn't it?
Yeah, and my parents, they're both musicians. They taught me, do not do that.
Mm-hmm.
You're disrupting your neighbors. It's not polite. And same with swearing in front of parents, older people, in public.
A whole other conversation
Yeah.
is going to be curse words. And I think one of my theories is in politics, you heard Governor Hochul use that this week, talking about Elise Stefanik. You heard Governor Josh Shapiro use that recently, some curse words at a press conference. It's becoming normalized because of the popularity of the president over the last 10 years. And he's viewed as authentic. And all of a sudden now the bar is lowered. And maybe people like that. Maybe people don't. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's definitely different even in 10 years. And you're 23 years old. When you were 13, I think the standards were different on this one.
They were different, but at the same time, I know that kids were exposed to a lot more than they used to be because of the internet. And so even I was watching shows that I shouldn't have been watching, hearing language I shouldn't have been hearing at such a young age.
Yeah.
And that leads to kids, starting to swear. But I would never do that and then come home and bring it into the house.
Or on an airplane or at a restaurant.
Yeah. That's just completely rude, and you're not thinking about others. And friends and family members that I know will swear in front of kids in public.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you there. Real quick here, Zoe. Greg emailed to ask, please ask, he means Zoe, the younger guest, to define hard pants.
Hard pants?
What's the phrase hard pants mean?
I don't know that I've ever heard that.
So teenagers now, Greg is referencing that we talked about this recently. Teenagers talk about hard pants as anything that isn't elastic waistband.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they talk about hard pants.
Yeah.
So something like my son will be like, wear jeans. Like, what am I going to a wedding?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Really?
anything that has a zipper or a button is
Yeah.
formal.
It's formal.
It's
Yeah.
formal. If it's not athleisure,
Yeah.
it is formal.
That's bizarre to
Hard
me
pants.
because
Yeah, hard pants.
typically, almost every day, I would wear jeans. I'm not going to wear sweatpants unless I'm specifically doing something where I'm just at home or something.
Well, you're a throwback. You're very interesting, Zoe. We're really glad
She has
you've
a
been
great shirt on, too.
Yeah, if you're watching
you
on
guys can
YouTube.
see it. She has a great shirt on.
Thank you.
How much did you think about what you were wearing on a fashion conversation?
I did think about it for sure, but I also am doing something later today where I need to be wearing comfortable clothes. So I was.
See, it's a balance there
It is a balance.
It's good.
So I'm wearing comfortable clothes, but also,
that you feel like you look good in.
yeah,
Great.
yeah.
I mean, listen, Elaine, I was going to dress up for you, and then I realized it physically hurt to be outside today.
I know.
And it
was
affects
12. It was 12.
it
You know,
affects it.
the other thing that I wanted to say is that I remember when you would, this sounds so corny, you sort of put your clothes out the night. Did you ever do that?
Of course.
Do you still do
Yes.
that? Do you still do that?
I
Yes.
do that too.
No, wait, you do. You
not every night,
you
but
still
a
do
lot.
That? Like you put
Yeah.
them, like where do
Yeah.
you put them on a chair? Like this is what I'm wearing tomorrow.
In a spare, like
spare space.
Yeah, just
so
extra.
that's sort of adorable. I don't think a lot of people do that anymore.
you?
I do not.
Okay.
I think about what I'm doing that day, and I think about where I'm going to be, and if I'm going to be in person in a place I'm giving a speech. Or I also think, okay, I'm going to leave the house this hour, and I'm not going to be back. I have this, and then a dinner meeting, and then a present. So I better dress for the whole day. But I think that paying attention to what you wear is also just part of let me just survive today. And that's really what I'm much more concerned about. And I'm sorry that Secretary Duffy is focusing on that versus how can we have people feel better about themselves, better about travel, better about being
He should have called
with other
you.
people. He should have called me.
Because you do care about
He's
fashion. but
unlikely to call me,
Yeah,
just so you know.
on your politics, probably.
On my politics, but that's okay. But I just think that what we want to do is start the day with kindness and the day with gratitude. That's what you do. And then flying is just part of that whole process. And if somebody like Secretary Duffy really wants to send a message, a holiday message, a travel message, it's about gratitude and kindness. And you know what? I care less about what someone's wearing than how they're treating each other. So
Well said, Elaine
that's the
Spall.
message.
Well said.
Yeah.
I mean, so many great pieces of feedback from listeners who appreciate what our guests brought. Kim wrote in to say she agrees the main issue is drunk passengers. If there's
Yeah.
disruption, she says there's almost always alcohol.
Sure.
Yeah.
And she says people wear their pajamas because they don't fit in a tiny carry-on bag. They don't want to get their nice clothes dirty, and you need to be prepared to sleep in an airport lounge.
Right.
Right.
Exactly
Right.
what Zoe's been
Right.
saying.
Yes.
Forget the golden days.
Zoe's like,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
yes. Elaine Spall, Executive Director of the Center for
Yeah.
Youth, co-founder of Fashion Week Rochester. Looking great as always. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I
so
appreciate
good to
you
see
being
you,
here.
buddy.
And Zoe Keene, comedy writer, performer, visual artist. Thank you for coming on the program today.
Thank you for having me.
Come back sometime.
I would love to.
From all of us at Connections, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. No matter what you're wearing, where you're going, or what you're doing, have a great weekend. We're back with you next week on member-supported public media.
This program is a production of WXXI Public Radio. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of this station, its staff, management, or underwriters. The broadcast is meant for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or use in another medium without expressed written consent of WXXI is strictly prohibited. Connections with Evan Dawson is available as a podcast. Just click on the Connections link at WXXInews.org.